Zachary, you're the leader of the Conservative group on Preston Council, and I know you're not actually standing today, but I was wondering how you were feeling about the elections today.
Well, of course, I think it's a bit harder than it's been recently, mainly because of the two being synchronised, that's the European and the local elections. We've worked very, very hard. Margaret McManus, in my view, a marvellous candidate, and she's really, really grafted. The effect of UKIP we don't know. On the door, we've been working for something like 5 weeks, and in that time scale, I've hardly had it mentioned on the doorstep. However, I do know that the UKIP candidate in Shire Green Ward is a local chap who has a specific programme which is to do with parking. Now, the parking relates to the hospital, and it's been a long-running issue with the residents and the councillors. I think he's claiming he can solve the position by snapping his fingers. Reality tells us that's not true. Margaret has been organising meetings with the chief exec at the hospital, which I've got to say surprised me. I mean, normally you wouldn't expect to see a chief exec talking to councillors. It would be downgraded to someone lower level, but Margaret managed to organise that. That's been very helpful, mainly because they've listened to what we've had to say. They've taken our experience and utilised it to send out a trust letter to the local residents explaining what they're hoping to do and how they're going to do it.
So you think the election's been fought on local issues? I was going to also talk to you about the European election,
yes,
because obviously that's a national election. Do you think Europe's been a big issue and is a big issue for people nationally?
I don't think. I think UKIP, in my own view, are the standby people to generate their concerns about Europe. I don't believe they've got a real programme. I believe their agenda is a very weak one. I think it's just a superficial view that we can get out of Europe just by snapping your fingers. I don't think that can happen. However, I do understand the frustration of people with regard to what they perceive as issues created by the European Union. And as a consequence, all main parties looks like we will suffer from that protest vote. And I genuinely believe it's a protest vote. As I see it, UKIP don't really have a structure. It's nearly a one-man band, and we're seeing both locally and nationally issues which are people opening their mouths without really thinking what they're saying and getting themselves into some trouble. So overall, I'm hopeful that I think although they will do well this time, and it's very clear that's going to happen, I think as time goes on and we come to the 2015 elections, I think the reality will hit in and they'll recognise that they're a party who can make facile promises without being able to fulfil them.
Okay, and just returning back to the local issue, do you think you'll retain the seats today?
I'm hopeful, less confident than I've been in the past because there's been some hard work done by other parties as well. But yes, I think because of our hard work, the history of the hard work recognised in our own ward, that's how the councillors do get out there during the winter, knocking on doors. It's non-political, just asking them if they have problems. I think that will show some benefits, and I'm hopeful that Margaret will retain her seat.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.